Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton, and we come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, the beat goes on, folks. It gets crazier and crazier every week. I don't know about you, but I'm beginning to think I'm going to lose my mind. You know, the COVID thing hit million kids. By the way, this show is brought to you by Million Kids, MILLION. We're not 1 million kids. We're not a million kids. We're just simply million kids. And we are dedicated to stopping and prevention and intervention of human trafficking, sextortion, social media exploitation, and child pornography. And we've been doing this in the Inland Empire and across the nation for nearly 12 years now. It's hard to believe. It's been quite a journey. But that journey changed for us on March 12th when one day we came home from a very big presentation over at LAX. And that was the last live presentation we've made thanks to COVID. And so it's really, really challenging. We usually sell our books. That's how we make our money, and people donate and like that. Well, so it's a little bit more challenging to raise the money that we need. But what is interesting to me is that social isolation has not slowed down any of the sex trafficking, especially. And the social media exploitation of children has just gone through the roof. We have been so busy. And the victims are just getting younger and younger. This week I had a case of an 11-year-old, a case of two in social media exploitation, a case of a 12 and a 13-year-old actual sex trafficking. And it's just gut-wrenching to deal with it. You know, to hear these parents and realize that their child has fallen prey to this. So it has been a challenge. The cases seem to be going up and up and up, and there's less and less resources to go after it. So it's a nightmare at the time. Having said that, nobody's slowing down. We are the coordinator for the Riverside County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force. And that task force got a new case again this week. And I'm going to tell you that these men and women are still going out in the middle of the night, putting their lives on the line to rescue and save these kids. In this case, they arrested a 21-year-old man from Thermal. His name was Jose Manuel Pimentel of Thermal. He's arrested on suspicion of human trafficking of a minor, that is one of our teenagers, pimping of a minor, pandering of a minor, unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor, oral copulation, and other felony charges. So he has been whisked off to jail. I will say this is alleged until he completes a due process. We are not going to convict him, but it sounds like there's a whole lot of charges they're working with there. Congratulations to the team. We have Riverside County Task Force has a Eastern Task Force and Main Riverside County Task Force. Now 13 men and women. Our Sheriff Chad Bianco, is absolutely dedicated to stopping this. By the way, so are the folks over in San Bernardino County. I know Sergeant O'Brien over there and Captain Mahoney and a whole bunch of really great people. I report to Riverside, some a little prejudice, okay? But we all work together because, quite frankly, those predators don't care which side of the 10 freeway they're working on. So for that, we're very, very grateful in Riverside and San Bernardino County to have such dedicated law enforcement. And I think we don't need to defund law enforcement. We need to give them every dime we can. They are out there protecting our children. Well, enough already. We have a guest, and I'm very, very excited. I've been wanting to have this lady on for well over a year, and my schedule has just been insane, and hers too. She's very, very busy doing what she does. We do something very similar, only she does it with a great deal more talent than I do, in my opinion. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to Mary Bowden, Bawden. She is from Redlands, and her organization is danceawareness.com. So welcome, Mary.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a joy to be here, and I want to congratulate you on your work in a very difficult field, but very purposeful because we protect children.
Yes, it's a interesting place to find ourselves in this day and age. It seems like it's more demanding than ever, and you would know that. Mary, let's do this. Let's start off first by telling our audience a little bit about yourself, your background, and your interests, and how you got to the organization situation that you're at today.
Well, I grew up in a home with 4 children. I was the youngest of 4. And my family, because of my dad's job, moved 6 times in my first 12 years.
Wow.
And I have to tell you, every time we moved, I was begging to take dance class. And, I think every time you move, your parents have to find the new school, the new church, the new dentist, where's the grocery store, blah, 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 all that stuff.
Right.
And by the time they got to the end of the list, we moved again. So I didn't get to take dance class. And I constantly asked my mother, for lessons. And she did say, well, one day you'll be able to. And that day happened when we moved to Los Angeles when I was 11 years old. And one day she came to me and said, it's your time to take dance class. And I was so excited. So she and I went, and I got a leotard and tights, and I got ballet shoes. I thought I was the coolest thing. And I went to my first dance class. And I have to tell you, it's one of those times where what you dreamed about and how you thought it might turn out aligned with reality, because I had a fabulous time in dance class. And, the research shows that dance, when it's done in a healthy, age-appropriate way, aligns mind, body, and spirit for a child. And, of course, I guess I'm more akin to being positive about dance in terms of all the arts. But no other art form aligns and makes a child integrate mind, body, and spirit like dance. So it's just outstanding. It improves academic performance, brain development, creativity, risk-taking, social maturity, and on and on and on. So I really did experience all those things, and I think my confidence grew. I know it did, as a young lady. And by the time I was in high school, I was taking ballet a couple of times a week from 2 master teachers.
Wow.
Sheila Darby and Olga Fricker. They founded Jacquetti USA. And then that was followed by getting a degree in modern dance from UC Riverside.
Wow.
And that was followed by teaching on the community college level, directing and choreographing for a church dance ministry for over 20 years.
Wow.
Writing a book. So I think you could safely say I'm, the poster child for a good experience in dance.
Oh, that's great. The minute you said that about all the moves, that is one of the areas where a child is most vulnerable, especially if it takes place when they're 12, 13, 14, 15 years old in those life events. And I always, whenever I train the public, we talk about keep an eye out for kids in your church or friends of your friends, that if they're at that age, put your arms around them and include them. Because that moving at that age is one of those areas of vulnerability for predators, and they can sense that in a second. And it sounds like to me that dance gave you the confidence of inclusion, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it really, really gave me confidence. I really realized internally something happened. Mind, body, and spirit integration, which I think is God's idea, and the way He's wired people, rather than to compartmentalize different aspects of a human being. It puts them all together, and I really did know that something very special was happening to me as I engaged in dance class. So it really did change me in a positive way. Before that, I was shy, much shyer, and obviously I changed. But I had low confidence, and I began to see a lot of things internally, from a very confident perspective.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, we have as our guest today Mary Bowden, B as in boy, AWDEN. Her organization is danceawareness.com. She is from Redlands. I met her a long time ago and wanted to have her on my show, and today we finally did it. So thank you for joining us, Mary. We are up against that break, so stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sellers and buyers recognize that these low interest rates will not last. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Hey, there are many good restaurants in the Inland Empire, but really great restaurants are hard to find. Let me tell you about the Toasted Barrel in Corona. It's a trendy, upscale steakhouse with great pasta and seafood. It's a fantastic choice for birthdays and anniversaries or just that special night out with your loved one and friends. Inland Empire magazine has awarded them Best Restaurant and Brunch for the past 3 years. The owners, Ed and Shirley, are friendly and attentive to your needs. If you're a prime rib connoisseur, this place is for you. Go ahead and try it out. The Toasted Barrel, located at 1300 El Sobrante Road in Corona. Or Google them at Toasted Barrel to make reservations. I guarantee you, you're going to love it. Be sure and tell Ed and Shirley that Opal sent you. It will be a night you'll never forget.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and we so much appreciate each and every one of you that listen to this show. Last week we had a show about a new app called Radlee, R-A-D-L-E-E, and it is an app that I highly recommend. That if you have an iPhone and you have a teenager that is on their iPhone on Instagram, you need that app. But in the course of that, so many of you wrote to me last week, and I just want to tell you how much that means to me. These days, social isolation really is really a big deal for me. I get to where I start to want to hug the guy at the gas station, because we're so isolated in these things. We are talking to Mary Bowden. Her organization is Dance Awareness, No Child Exploited. And she had mentioned that one of the things that she mentioned is in her childhood, she'd moved a lot, and that just really triggered it for me. I know that what we call, what makes a child vulnerable is that lack of confidence, that being available and vulnerable, looking for likes, looking for approval, and especially if they're moving or they're in a life experience where their father is maybe unemployed, or mom's lost her job, or their mom and dad are getting a divorce, or grandma died or something that has really set them off, then it is at that point that we need to come in and support them to show them how to get that strength of character. And that's what worked for Mary. And with that, Mary, I really want to talk about the healthy aspects of dance and how you see it, that where it's changed people's lives.
Well, all of what I say is backed by research. I mean, we have had research for years to help us understand how much and how important the integration of mind, body, and spirit is in cognitive development, in physical development, in emotional development, in creating and helping a child to make healthy choices, in their emotional and relational investment in other people. All of these things can happen as a result of a healthy dance environment. And so, it's an outstanding activity. And, in our culture, we're not asking people to think. Often we just spoon feed them, TV or social media or something like that. And dance actually makes you have to think. You have to listen to a teacher's instructions. Then you have to put them into what you do physically, and you have to be thinking as you do that.
And disciplined.
Yeah, and disciplined. So the more you take dance, it's a very complex skill set that you're learning within, the human body. And to do it, you can't just be spoon-fed anything. You have to activate all of you and think, reflect.
One of the things that I've often thought, now I haven't danced much, and probably at my age with my knees, we maybe should give that some thought. But
I'm in that age range too, so you and I can have another conversation about that.
But the thing that I often think there is that dance would be a way to give yourself identity, to experiment with, if I feel like this, I'll act like that. And if I feel like this, I can act like this. And I think that exploring the identity, especially as a teenager is going through puberty or maybe a very difficult time in their life, I think there needs to be more of this for foster kids, because you see foster kids struggle with identity and knowing who they are because they're moved around and they don't have that core relationship that kind of defines who they are.
I have to agree with that. And I have to say, in a general sense, I identify with what you just mentioned about foster children. Not that I was one, but my parents were having a lot of marital difficulties as we moved around. And I think I was in a very unstable place relationally. And I do think that's why dance was so good for me. Right. Now, of course, in this culture, if we move from a healthy, age-appropriate environment in dance to highly hypersexualized dance moves that are oriented for adults, and yet you're a child, we see the opposite happening.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Looking at the healthy dance, one of the things that I think kids really get out of that is to be able to stop and put all their social media aside, put all their out of interaction, feel the music, move their body, understand that they can, kids today, everything is about looks. You don't just say something, you deliver it in a certain way with just the right terminology, And so I think that the dance would give them a chance to kind of move around, release stress, but more important, start to say, hey, when I move like that, I feel better about myself, or just kind of be in tune with music.
You're exactly right. And that speaks to the work that dance, the art of dance, does from the inside out on a child and their whole view of who they are. Mm-hmm. But again, I have to say, we have to begin to distinguish from externals to internals. And if a child is just copying externally something, perhaps something they see on the media, and of course, media is huge in our culture.
Right.
And as a child, they don't get the opportunity to have those wonderful benefits and make choices that are related to their inside out development.
I think that's probably even good for football players in high school. You hear them.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's why they have football players take dance.
Uh-huh. It kind of probably gives them a sense of coordination and also that sense of confidence. I've often said people will come to me and say, what can I do to make a difference in trafficking? Well, the world I live in gets real complicated, and it's very hard to often take people in to immediately work with victims or something like that. However, help foster kids. If you have somebody in your neighborhood that's from a broken family, get them a dance outfit if they want to try to dance. Help enroll them in some classes. Support them in those kinds of things. I didn't understand that foster kids, never stayed long enough and they couldn't afford a football outfit or a dance outfit or a taekwondo or any of that stuff. And so it's that simple. You want to make a difference? It isn't earth-shattering. It's simply step forward, ask the mom, can you assist them to let them try what they want to try, and encourage them to try good and healthy dance. There are programs out there to teach that, and it gives them a sense of confidence and inclusion.
And I have to underscore that to follow what you're saying about foster kids and putting them or giving them an opportunity to be involved in dance or experience it. Dance Awareness, No Child Exploited, with the acronym DANCE, is sponsoring this Sunday a movement class on Mansion Memories in Redlands. And the mission of Mansion Memories is to provide wonderful experiences for disadvantaged children.
And that's called what again, Mary?
It's called Mansion Memories.
Mansion Memories.
And it'll be on Facebook. And we filmed it in October. I have two dance educators that I'm introducing who have explained to children from their perspective, what is a point shoe? And I'll bet you a lot of the listeners that are listening to this program have children that might be interested in that whole thing. And they've taken apart a toe shoe and they're showing it to children. And then they show how to dance in point. And again, being created for particularly the group of disadvantaged children. I will tell you that Mansion Memories has opened up their mission during coronavirus to include all children, because right now all children are disadvantaged.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. It's really scary what's going on. Now, you mentioned this is on Facebook. What Facebook is this on?
It's on Mansion Memories. I can send you a link to that after we talk, if you'd like.
Are you saying the word mansion, MANSION?
ION, yeah. Mansion Memories in Redlands, California. It'll be on this Sunday at 4 p.m.
Wow, that sounds really, really great. And this is at 3 o'clock on Saturday, so it wouldn't be long. So that'd be great.
It's 4 o'clock on Sunday.
But I'm saying this show's at 3 o'clock on Saturday, so it's only a day afterwards if they want to try it out. So that would be really, really good. We have as our guest today Mary Bowden. Her organization is Dance Awareness, No Child Exploited. And I just realized that spells DANCE. So it took me a little while to catch that.
Pretty clever.
Yeah, right. Well, I've wanted to have Mary on for a long time, and we're grateful to have her. We are up against that break, folks, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited, Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited, Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer. Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton and I'm the host of your show. I want to thank all of you that follow us. These shows are all archived, especially if you like this show. It's archived at millionkids.org. Millionkids.org. You just go into, I think it's the education or training tab, and go down there and you'll see AM 590. And you can click on it and you can download it, you can share it, and I hope you do share it with your children, your grandchildren, and all of their friends, because I know the program that Mary runs, and she has changed a lot of lives, so I very much appreciate it. Mary and I have known each other from a distance for a very long time, but haven't got a chance to really sit and talk. But one of the things that I know in my heart is her and I have the same kind of point of view about the other kind of dance, because you'll often hear me talk about it. I love the kind of dance that Mary's organization works with. It is healthy. It is good exercise. It teaches discipline. It helps with identity. It helps people find themselves and also be comfortable in their own skin and get the confidence that we need. One of the things that I don't feel good about is the direction that dance is taking through social media, especially now that we have TikTok and TikTok Thought. If you don't know that, TikTok Thought is the pornographic version, THOT, of TikTok, where our kids are out there doing their thing. And it is just taking it a direction that is really, really scary. So with that, I'm going to just kind of turn it back over to Mary. I'll try to keep my opinion to myself for a little bit, and then I'll jump in, because I think her and I kind of are on the same length on this idea about twerking and dry humping. It just frosts my cookies is what happens. It just really irritates me when I see this stuff. So with that, Mary, give me your version of this.
Well, it frosts my cookies too, Opal. It seems that we have a culture influenced by the media. Media is the mass communication that we receive, information, news, entertainment, sports. Mm-hmm. And for the last several years, we seem to have just accepted what we're getting through the airwaves. And when you see a child, not an adult, who is put in adult material, that is adult costumes, choreography, and music, we're really taking a child out of childhood. Yes. We're blurring the line between childhood and adulthood. And Absolutely. We're making children into mini adults. So you have to begin to ask yourself, why are we doing this to children? Right. Because the research is so clear that this has incredibly negative outcomes, from codependence, eating disorders, high risk of porn use, poor academics, promiscuity, objectification, promoting a rape culture, teen pregnancy, inability to identify sexual abuse, and cognitive development, to name only a few. Right. So I decided to start Dance Awareness No Child Exploited with 4 educational goals, and I hope it's a good time that I could share those. Is that okay?
Sure. Go right ahead. You bet.
So because I love dance, I really do, as a dance educator, someone with a degree in dance, I want to see parents continue to enroll their children in dance classes, but be aware that you have to check it out. And check out the dance studio that you're going to enroll your child in. Yes. So what are the 4 educational perspectives in dance that underscore our organization? One is to protect children from hypersexualization in dance and adult costumes, choreography, and music, and to protect the art of dance, because hypersexualization in movement is really not dance. Right. Second, we want to create free research materials to give adults informed choices about the differences between healthy and harmful dance. 3, we want to engage in respectful conversations about hypersexualization in dance without shaming or demonizing adults in dance studios, so that there's a path for reflection and change perspectives. I really think, being respectful as I talk to people, because most people are uninformed and they're uneducated about this. They're so busy, adults, that they really don't even realize they need to check this out. They're really not aware of all the media and the negative outcomes that are influencing both them and their children, coming in all the time through magazines, movies, TV, social media. So I try to take a respectful attitude as I share what the research shows. And then our last goal, very important, is to communicate the hypersexualization of children in dance and its connection to the public health issue of pornography with bipartisan engagement. So we really want to welcome everybody into the dance team, what I call the dance team, so that we protect children and they have a wonderful experience with it. And for some reason, the media seems to have overtaken what influences our kids.
Yes. You're much nicer about it than I am, quite frankly, because
you can do your style. I appreciate that, but I find people get so defensive about dance.
Yeah,
I have to be careful and respectful.
Yes, and for your goal and your mission and your work that you do, and it's almost a ministry in a way, but it's certainly a mission. All of that makes really good sense. The thing that is scary to me is that we are seeing, first of all, because of social distancing, I can tell you from my own work that I do here, the victims are just getting younger and younger and younger. And if you think about what is going on, you put a 7-year-old on the phone, parents will ask me, how old should my child be before they get a cell phone? And I say, well, have you had the sex talk? And they'll go, well, no, that they're a little not ready for that. Well, then don't put them on a phone. Because if you put a child on the phone, they are going to learn more about sex and not the kind of sex you want them to learn about. And on top of it, you and I just had a brief conversation about the movie Cuties, and we'll probably finish up the show about that. But I looked at that movie Cuties, and I had to learn a whole new term. It's past twerking. And by the way, I do know that twerking originally was a religious kind of thing out of South Africa. But, it wasn't me that violated it. It's a group of people. It was Miley Cyrus. And, you're humping and grinding and carrying on. The problem of it is I had never heard the term dry humping until you see a movie like Cuties that is out by Netflix. I believe they've taken it off now, but the problem of it is you get a 7-year-old on the phone they start seeing this, they emulate it. And they can do that because they're very limber, and they think it's cool because Miley and other people and J-Lo and all the others are doing it, Beyonce, and they're beautiful women who are very talented. They don't have to do this. But my problem is that, 7-year-olds want to please. And so they don't want to get the man on the other end in trouble, and they just want to be liked. And so think about it. Their first sexual experience is one of shame and humiliation as that person starts to demand more film. And this is before they've had a moral identity, a sexual identity, a relationship identity. Sex to them is dirty dancing. And that's where it starts. And that's the problem I have with it.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. I think you mentioned that children like to imitate, and we see in research something called mirror neurons is going on in the mind of a child, and they're wired to want to copy what they see, right? Mm-hmm. And even adults to a certain extent do the same thing. That's why people advertise and they make us get this kind of toothpaste or that kind of wheels or any number of things. And so children are wired to watch the world around them and copy it. Right. And so when they see on the media all these icons dancing in adult costumes, choreography, and music in very sexual ways, and we allow them to see that, we don't filter it, then who's surprised that we have
Yes.
children humping and twerking and
Right.
doing any number of things that they shouldn't be exposed to? And of
Yep.
course, the brain research shows the outcomes in all developmental areas show that this is terrible for children.
It's not a good thing. We're up against that break, folks, so stay with us and we'll be right back.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
AM 590. The answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and this show is brought to you by MillionKids.org. We appreciate each and every one of you that support this organization, especially right now. I cannot tell you how much it all means to me to get one of those checks or see that online donation. I try to respond immediately because it is you folks that is keeping us alive at this very point and allowing us to do the work that is just flooding through here in ways that we never could have predicted back last March. So here we go. Thank you for each and every one of you that support our work. In the meantime, we have a guest, Mary Bowden, and she just does an incredible work. Her organization is Dance Awareness No Child Exploited. We are talking about the impact of when dance goes wrong with our kids. Mary's organization teaches healthy dance and to be able to use dance in a positive way to get self-esteem and feel good about yourself and have self-discipline and not be easy to recruit. But when you start getting kids, young kids, 10, 12, 14, 15 years old, in a lot of these dances out there, it is all they have to do is post a video like that, and a pedophile knows they're on the market, and they're easy prey. It's what we call available and vulnerable. With that, Mary, I want to turn it back over to you. You've studied this whole phenomena for a long time now. What are your thoughts on how this plays out, and what, if anything, a parent or grandparent can do?
Well, the research shows, so I think this will make sense to you, but I want you to know it's research-based, what I'm saying, because Dance Awareness No Child Exploited on danceawareness.com is all research-based. says that parents or adults are the protective factors for children. So one of the most important things you can do for children is to be aware of informed choices. And that means you're going to be asking questions. You're going to be investigating a dance studio that you're going to consider for your child. You're not going to assume that if you enroll your child, they're necessarily going to be safe in that environment, because the media is affecting adults as well as children. And some adults, many adults actually, are uneducated about the harms of hypersexualization for children in adult costumes, choreography, and music. And you mentioned, 13, 14, 15-year-olds being involved in hypersexualized dance. And I will tell you, from a dance perspective, we're seeing it younger and younger and younger. We're seeing as young as 3-year-olds involved in hypersexualized dance. So it is getting younger and younger and younger and younger. And we've got to call on adults who love their kids to make sure that they are asking the right questions when they enroll their child in a dance class, knowing that dance is wonderful, it's healthy. But if you put your child in a negative environment, the opposite occurs. So one thing I encourage parents to do is look on the videos on a dance studio website on the June dance recital. That's one clear, easy, definitive way to check out a dance studio. When you see hypersexualized dance for the older children, I wouldn't put my child, I wouldn't enroll my child in that particular dance studio, because you can say, oh, but my child's 5 or my child's 6, and it won't affect them, but it will affect them, because little children look up to the older girls, the older boys, and what they do is what they want to. Remember that concept of mirror neurons. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do with a respectful tone is to go into the dance studio and actually ask the owner, what is their philosophy on this? And at that point, you may even be informing and educating them. We have materials on danceawareness.com that you can print out and give to a dance studio owner. Sometimes we've had parents help a dance studio owner get some education on this. The same is true the other way around. Sometimes dance studio owners have to educate parents. So we're working with a whole group of people. It's not exclusive to just dance educators hypersexualizing children. Sometimes dance educators are educating the parents.
Right.
We also have we have a free ebook that you can download. Did you hear that, folks? Free. It's only 15 pages. And it talks about the new trend in children's dance, which is hypersexualized dance, how to choose a healthy dance studio, how to avoid a harmful dance studio, and then more research on how to approach someone, if you're a parent, a dance studio owner, with the research so that you can help them be educated. Because I'm finding it's not one group that's not educated and not informed, it's everybody. Because our whole culture has not thought through carefully the influx of media and how that influences us.
Right. Mary, we're starting to come to the end of the show. I just wanted to add one more comment in there, is that you get these young kids on there dancing, and they're not dancing appropriately. It is literally like sending out a neon billboard around the world to pedophiles that this child is vulnerable and available. So not only does it affect their self-esteem, it puts them in grave danger. It greatly increases the odds that they're going to be approached by a pedophile. And that's really where I come from. Mary, you do a tremendous work. I've known you for quite a long time now, and you have really got a strong and healthy reputation in being able to help kids, especially at-risk kids. So I have a minute or two here. How do they reach you? How do they follow you and like that?
Thank you for asking, Opal. Of course, go to danceawareness.com. We can be found on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and you'll see that on our website, but you can easily find us on Facebook. You can sign up for our newsletter. It only comes out 3 times a year, and we're increasing our exposure to the culture by people signing up for that. I'd really like to encourage your listeners to sign up for that. Along with that, we have lots of resources that you can share on social media. We have 27 30-second spots, approximately 30-second spots, that have been created with dance and national experts giving their comments on that. We have some 5-minute trailers that I have to say, of course, I may be prejudiced, but they really give a big picture look at this problem. And the outcomes and the results of that, based on people writing and sharing it on social media, have been outstanding. So those are on resources in danceawareness.com. And did I say danceawareness.com? Good.
Yes.
There I thought, I'd really like to encourage all of your listeners to look at my blog. I have a monthly blog that I write about the current issues in dance. And we just want to really welcome anybody who's interested in this topic to share with other people. I also interviewed national experts in 2019, and we just released a 20-minute film in February of this year. We have some downloadable PowerPoints that educate people. You can give a talk on what's happening in hypersexualization in dance, or you can have me come and speak. I do webinars, on the internet. So I'm available, but your viewers, your listeners can be using our materials in all kinds of ways.
Well, thank you so much, Mary. We really appreciated having you on the show. I will have also a link to your organization at millionkids.org so that anybody can hear about it. And we will, of course, e-blast out to all of our followers and like that. I want to thank each and every one of you that support both the work of Mary Bowden and danceawareness.com, as well as supporting the work of Million Kids. We would not be able to be on this air without you. We would not be able to help the parents of these very young kids who are just beside themselves on what to do and be able to get the services they need. We would not be able to be out there and educate. And of course, we have our film coming out the first quarter of next year, and we are very, very excited. So thank you. If you want to support the work of Million Kids, you can do that by going to millionkids.org, million, M-I-L-L-I-O-N, millionkids.org. Folks, put your arms around your family, tell your spouse you love them, tell your kids you believe in them, and you have a great week, and we'll see you next Saturday at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.